Lots of you are watching us through our Wavy Weather app, also online. That's because we have seen widespread power outages throughout our area. These really started yesterday afternoon and they're continuing this morning.
Absolutely. Now, we are joined now on the phone with Benita Harris. She's with Dominion Virginia Power. Benita, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. No problem. Appreciate all your hard work.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest questions and the question that a lot of folks are having is when will the power be back on?
Well, that's a good question, and it's not one that we can answer specifically yet because the conditions have been so treacherous. It's difficult for our crews to get out to these locations, as you know, with all the flooding and everything. But right now, we hope that everyone is prepared for a multi-day restoration event.
And how many people right now are without power in our viewing area? I'm seeing 255,000, but I heard from our producer that you just got an updated number. Is that correct?
Yes, I've got about 275,000 that are without power right now, in about 1,500 locations around Hampton Roads and northern North Carolina. Some of the biggest trouble spots are Virginia Beach, the Peninsula. We've got Chesapeake, Norfolk, Williamsburg, northern North Carolina areas. Because Matthew came in a little bit more than we thought, that the storm tracked further north and the winds pushed out a little bit further than the eye of the storm. Even some of our areas that are a little more inland have suffered.
Benita, one of the things we want to find out for you guys, what do you think is the biggest difference between this storm and the number of people without power compared to other storms that we have seen here in Hampton Roads?
That's a good question. I'll have to ask. It just seems like every storm's a little bit different, and we learn something new from every one. I'll ask the experts inside the office what they think with how they would like to, how they can compare it. That have seen so many of these. It just seems like right now for this storm, it's the strong winds and the flooding makes access so difficult that it's slow going for the restoration process. So the next time we speak, maybe I'll be able to compare it with one of our other recent major storms that we're all familiar with, like over Labor Day or the derecho or some of those. I'm sure inside they'll be able to tell us all of that.
And Benita, I got to ask, because a lot of people are asking us, they're concerned about wires down and lights out. Are there extra crews out right now? Can we kind of put them at ease a little bit?
Well, we have extra crews on the way coming to help us from other areas, so that will definitely be a big help. We kind of have to batten down the hatches and wait for the storm to pass through the area before we can have our restoration in full effect, because we need it to be safe for our crews in order to be able to get to locations and safely make repairs. So right now, it's pretty much the emergencies are taking priority, and fortunately, the storm is beginning to recede some. So as the sun comes up, we should be able to get out there and make some more progress.
And Benita, I guess one of the other questions is we see this with this huge number of people without power. What's the primary cause? Are you seeing are you hearing about a lot of down power lines? Is it, the flooding? Is it trees down? What is it specifically? Do you know at this point what's causing a lot of the outages?
Because the ground was already so saturated and the winds are so strong, we are having a lot of downed trees and tree limbs, which do pull those power lines down, which can be very dangerous. So we always ask people to make sure you assume those power lines are energized and stay far away. But those trees coming down on the lines knock out power. It can be a very dangerous situation. So we hope that anybody that doesn't have to go out won't go out. The flooding situation just makes the access so much more difficult to get to the locations to make the repairs.
All right, Benita, thank you very much, and we appreciate that. Again, one last time, 275,000 people without power in our viewing area right now. So, of course, stay safe and please listen to her advice.
Absolutely, and the word is that you should be preparing for a multi-day hunker down while crews work to try to restore power. Flooding, heavy rains, and causing a lot of roads to be impassable in our area. We have a full list of how those closures could affect your Sunday morning travels, if you're even able to get out. You can check it out on wavy.com, but stay with us. We'll be right back. We have been following Matthew's path of destruction all night. We just got some updated numbers that 275,000 people are without power in our area.
And many people are still dealing with just tremendous flooding, also heavy rains. 10 on your sides, Maria Elena Baloris is live in Portsmouth. Right now, Maria Elena, so many parts of Portsmouth seeing several feet of water. Still the case where you are?
Yeah, we're actually looking more at inches. I thought I would give everybody a little bit of perspective of what we're dealing with. Where I'm standing here, we are right at about 7 inches. Take 2 steps back and let's see. We're hitting at about 9 inches. This is just the parking lot. It's much deeper than that out on the street. Out on Court Street, it was actually up to my hips when I had to walk through it last night. So we are seeing a lot of water out here. Now, part of that is because of the rain. We've seen 8 to 10 inches of rain fall here in Portsmouth, and another part of that is the tides. We are seeing moderate tidal flooding, but because of the heavy rain that we saw last night, we're really at major tidal flooding. So this water just doesn't have anywhere to go. It's just accumulating, covering cars, completely washing out streets. It's really not safe to be out there on the roads right now. If you are able to move your car, the city garages in Portsmouth are open, and there are some garages in Norfolk that are open and free as well. We have that information posted on our website. And we're going to continue to bring you the latest coverage of Hurricane Matthew as it impacts all of Hampton roads. We'll have more information coming up for you after the break.
We're on your side tracking Matthew, and the destruction continues all through the coastal cities. I mean, cities like Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Fayetteville, they have seen some serious damage from this storm.
And we are keeping a close eye on the serious damage in the Outer Banks. Our Andy Fox is in North Carolina right now. Andy, I see you are still being shielded by the truck there. Has anything changed since we last saw you?
Yeah, Brandy and Laura, you can actually see it. Look at it. You can look at. This is a 2,500-pound truck. You can see how the wind is just making it move like that. We're shielded behind here. We've had 55-mile-per-hour gusting winds here. Jeanette's Pier reported 90 miles per hour. Down Hatteras, down at the ferry docks, they're saying 70 mile per hour. We are getting, just to put this into perspective, according to the National Weather Service, catastrophic flooding compared to Floyd back in 1999 in the state of North Carolina. Now I'm going to get out from protection from the truck and just show you that the winds are really picking up. You can see the stop sign over here. It continues, moving along there. This is the way it is across all of the Outer Banks right now. We have this type of flooding. You could see over there. Take a look. Take a look over there. You can see the flooding in the parking lot there and also on the land. Most of the neighborhoods around the Sound are getting this flooding. Very few cars out. There goes that car. You can see that the stoplights are out. We lost power for a little while, but you can see some lights on down there. Over here, the power is still out, but you can see. Take a look. This is 55, 60 mile per hour winds. Not as tough as they are down on Hatteras though. Really bad on Hatteras. We're getting flooding down there 7 feet. To put that, or 6.5 feet. To put that in perspective, her mean was 4.5. In 15 minutes down in Hatteras Village, flooding waters from the Pamlico Sound, 4.5 feet in 15 minutes. We are now well above that at 6 feet. So Hatteras is getting hammered. Hatteras Island, really tough. Up here in Nags Head, all these neighborhoods, all of them, back towards the Sound. We're gonna get bad Sound side flooding later on. It's already starting. It's the winds start coming back around from the Albemarle Sound, pushing water up. That's the way our life's gonna be for the rest of the day into tonight, into late this afternoon at least. That's the latest from Nags Head. In Nags Head, Andy Fox. Now back to you.
All right, thanks, Andy, for that report. Appreciate it. Let's talk about what happened and what's going on. So Hurricane Matthew was to our south and west last night. We had to contend with the moisture from Matthew running up into the stationary front, and the models didn't handle very well the total amounts from that rain. So it was under forecast by us, by the models. Some models actually did show some of these amounts, but not all of them. And so the ones that, we trusted were the wrong ones. And that's what happened. Now, again, we saw strong winds move north of Matthew as well as the heavy rain. And now it's no longer tropical. It merged with this stationary front, but this is slowly edging offshore. Here's the back edge of the rain over towards Emporia. And there's a cold front over to our west that's moving in our direction. That is also going to clean us out later today. So, again, we've got that flash flood warning in effect for mainland Dare County and Outer Banks Dare. And the flood flood warnings in effect for the eastern shore, the south side, and also for northeast North Carolina and the peninsula up to York County. So right now, I mean, as far as rain goes, you know, it's lightened up quite a bit. The back edge is over towards Emporia. Still some moderate showers on the eastern shore, but a lot of Hampton roads, it's light to moderate. It's not as heavy as it was earlier. Now here's the forecast. This all edges east, so there's that back edge of the line. 8 a.m. comes in through noon, picking up only maybe another inch of rain from this. It shouldn't be that much, and then it moves out to sea. And then we start seeing drier conditions. There's going to be much drier air coming in. There's going to be sunshine later today. That's going to help dry things up. Plus the winds will be strong still. So between those three things, that's going to help. Unlike last time we had the heavy rain when we had moisture hanging around for days, this time the dry air should help quite a bit. And we're dry going into this evening. We're dry tonight. We're going to be dry for Monday as well. Now we picked up so far about 10.6 inches of rain in Windsor. This is from National Weather Service reports. Deep Creek 10 inches, Princess Anne 9, Langley 7, and Elizabeth City 7.64. And our winds are out of the north right now. Look at that, Manio 46 miles an hour. We got a wind in Virginia Beach, 39. That's not even the gust, that's the wind. 32 in Norfolk, 22 in Hampton. And here's the winds, the gust. Virginia Beach, 69 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour Wallops Island, and 36 in Saluda. So the forecast for the winds, they're going to stay up through this morning, but then they'll drop this afternoon. They'll turn out of the northwest, winds between 25 to 35 miles an hour. And then going into Monday, the winds should be quite a bit less. We're talking about 10 to 20 miles an hour. So we do have some tidal flooding out there right now. Let's take a look at that with meteorologist Deidre Tate.
You can definitely see, actually the view has turned a little bit, but we definitely have what looks to be a river or a lake sitting across our parking lot, and basically that's what it is because it is very high. Again, we have a lot of roads that are impassable because of some very high waters out there. So again, not the best of times to travel. Tidal flooding is going to be an issue. Even with the already flooded roads, we're going to see that the tides rise again through the afternoon. The next high tide comes in for Sewell's Point closer to about 4 o'clock, and you can expect the rising of the water hour or two on either side of high tide, and it's going to get up to about, let's say, 6 feet. Of course, more than that when you really factor in the flooding that's already taking place. Fort Monroe, next high tide today will be at about 4 o'clock. Again, expecting it to be a moderate flood levels, and that will continue, though a little bit lower as we head into the start of this upcoming week. And as far as the forecast for the CBBT around Virginia Beach, we're expecting it to get up to about 6 feet for in terms of being major as we head towards the 3 o'clock high tide. Duck, it's going to get to 7.1 feet, major for sure, at about 2 o'clock. Again, either side of that time, we're expecting it to start to rise a bit, about an hour or two. And then for Kip to Peak, 9 o'clock will be the next high tide. That's in the evening, and it's going to be more moderate, a little bit more than 4 feet. As far as what to expect for today, we still have some rain slowly making its way across the area. So with that being said, we could pick up another inch, possibly another 2. But again, definitely another inch of rain is not ruled out. High winds are going to continue through the day. Gusts could get up to about 45, maybe 60 miles per hour. So again, we're going to have some windy conditions to deal with for today. Even though Matthew is no longer tropical, we're going to have those still tropical force winds, and the rain eventually will end as we head into early afternoon. Also, again, the waters are covered out there, or should I say the roads are covered with water out there, and the floodwaters are going to be slow to subside. So if you don't have to travel, don't. Because again, we're looking at impassable roads. We have, again, water covered roadways. We're dealing with debris on the roads. We have trees that are covering, just not the best of conditions. So again, try to get out if you can, or try not to get out, I should say, if you can. And then also, again, we have that moderate tidal flooding that we're going to have to deal with the next high tide, which is basically on average coming in anytime between 3 and 4 p.m. So here's that 7-day outlook. We're looking at windy conditions, morning rain, improving in terms of rain through the afternoon, but the wind sticks around through at least the evening. It's still going to be breezy on Monday. Gets a little bit cooler, though, as we head on into Columbus Day. And then the rest of the week, finally, we have sunshine and we get to enjoy the weather, but we do get to clean up as well.